Followers of Jesus abide in the vine. Jesus is the vine, the relationship of Jesus to his followers. God has a prepared destiny for each person. He has prepared works for all his children that they should walk in them. These works are those of obedience and works of the harvest of souls, to go out and reach out to others. He has chosen his people to go and produce good fruit that remains. Unless his children abide in Jesus, they accomplish nothing. They bear no fruit. And if they fall away, they become fruitless and they perish. Study John 15 carefully. Jesus was given last-minute instructions to his disciples before he went to the cross. Jesus told his disciples, "I am the true vine. My Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me." Again, all believers need to bear fruit, but this fruit is not possible without abiding in Jesus. God has prepared works for all to do. They're written down for you to look at in your Bible. Everyone is called to be a witness, and from there, each has a different calling. Pray and ask what your calling is, and make your calling sure. John 15, 5 through 8 continues, "I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is cast out as a branch and is withered, and they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask what you desire and it shall be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, so you will be my disciples." Again, here's a warning. Anyone who does not abide in him is fruitless. He is cast out as a dying branch. Those preaching another gospel are an example of worthless works. Any kind of religious work that is not of God is worthless, much like the religious works of the Sadducees and Pharisees. His words must abide in you. And the sad thing is most don't even bother reading his words. John 15, 9 through 16 continues, "As the Father loved me, I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love." Note again, Jesus' commandments are not the same as the Old Testament commandments. This was discussed in the other videos. "These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends, for all things I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you." Again, Jesus' followers are called to keep his word, then go work the harvest of souls. If one does not keep his word or abide in him, they are lost. Self-works created by man's imagination are worthless. Religious works of another gospel are worthless works. You need to produce the fruit God instructs of you. If his followers abide in him and his word abides in them, they will bear much good fruit. Examples. A pastor was delivered from alcohol addiction, and the Lord told him to open up a food bank so he could feed the hungry. He set up an outdoor ministry in front of a Walmart, collecting funds so he could buy canned goods for the needy. Another was told to start a church. During prayer, Jesus spoke to him audibly and told him to start a church in a different town. Number 3, another was miraculously healed from end-stage breast cancer, and she was told to acknowledge him before man. She shares her testimony wherever she goes. Number 4, I met several prophets bringing messages to people. Number 5, there are people who come out of prison preaching the gospel. There was this fellow serving time who got born again and came out of prison preaching the gospel. Number 6, another had a hellish experience and was told to go share his testimony to others. He had been living a, quote, wicked life and then had a heart attack, was on his way to hell. Jesus gave him a second chance because of the prayers of his wife. And again, he was told to go share his testimony with others. All of these people are doing what Jesus told them to do. Make your calling sure and you will never fail. You must produce the fruit that God has commissioned you to do. Abide in Jesus. His word must abide in you. He is the vine, for without him the branch cannot bear fruit. It withers and dies, is cut off and burnt. Few are following Jesus. If they would only study his words and keep them, they would know the truth and it would set them free. Jesus is the vine. Apart from him, you can do nothing.